We're live.
Where's my vape pen?
Hello, everybody. Which one? You need me to get that for you? Why don't you sit down in your special chair?
Are we live?
We are live right now.
Really?
I don't know who's in the room, but we're live.
Okay. Wow. So we're live. Okay.
We are here.
We didn't talk about that. Great. Thank you. Okay. So.
Okay. I don't know if there is one person. I'm going to see if I can connect over here so that maybe I can read
the
comments on this side. But we're here. We're doing a live to update everybody of the current status of the Volcomp and the current status of Mansard Media. All of that good stuff.
All right. Good. We've got people. Hey. Okay. Good. Hi, guys. I'm happy. Got a notification. Awesome. Hey, Laura. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. So we're here to explain ourselves, and we wanted people to hear to talk to you before we did. It's been a long road to this point, and we are pausing on Volcomp until we sell our flip. So we wanted to explain our finances and why we are paused. So yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So in a lot of other people's experiences, they purchase a house, an old house, using like a renovation loan or a construction loan, or they buy a house that is livable enough and then they work on it as they can find the funds. In this case, Matt purchased the house using cash, and so this is being funded by cash, and it's essentially being funded by Matt's previous job as a CIO. And so with that also came the investment property that we call Lafayette. So as we've shown before, it's kind of funny how a lot of things align. So Matt purchased Lafayette, and about a month later purchased Miami. So there were a few properties that kind of lined up that Matt purchased as investment properties. Lafayette was the investment, and the Volcomp home was the forever home idea.
Right.
Lafayette just got finished about a month ago, and it has been on the market that long. Here in St. Louis, specifically, the real estate market is really only just now picking up for the spring. And so we've had it on for a little bit. We've had a few people say they're interested. Everyone loves the renovation that has been done on it. They think that the house itself is very beautiful. But as that goes, it's a numbers game. So it's how many buyers are there to how many houses there are and how many buyers in that price point. So we are waiting patiently for the perfect buyer to come along and find the Lafayette house to make it their home.
Right. Right. So anyway, that's the scoop. So we've got an investment flip that we've done, which is on Lafayette. It's a fairly famous street in St. Louis, and we're selling that. We've got a lot of action on it. Exactly, fourth generation renovation. You'd think it would sell quickly. Fourth generation, people just don't appreciate the level of history that we do. It's been a little bit hard to actually accept. Our feedback has been great, fine, but what about the windows? Why don't you refinish the floor? Why don't you,
Yeah.
And it's like, what, guys? We did, and it's 100-year-old floor, and that's how it is. And I just feel like we're kind of losing some of the appreciation in this generation for what I think is invaluable, the workmanship. And so we're hanging in there. It's got to sell. As soon as it sells, we're gonna kick right into Volcom. We've struggled with other things, and I don't know how many people are watching right now. Probably almost like we got 3 people. Perfect. Hey, let's just make this real personal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you a story. So Nikki and I have been struggling to find the appropriate subs. And one of the carpenters who came in said we should rip out all the trim and move all the walls in 5 inches. The reason is we needed to put insulation on the walls. And if you guys can think through all of the ramifications of such things, it was a pretty tough thing to think through. Now, I am not castigating that individual, nor am I, making any judgment. The point is, this is a foreign field for a lot of these professionals who live in the space of, doing stuff to houses. They expect to go to Home Depot, buy the trim, have it fit. If it doesn't, we'll add a couple pieces, we're done. It is not a thoughtful world. And so it's been a challenge. Anyway, we're being very general. I don't know if we just popped on, we're saying, hey, we're doing this. Anyway, let's lay it out. Why are we here live? Marvin would be on your case, no kidding.
Yes.
Speaking of Marvin, he called me today. We talk a lot. Yeah, he is on my case a lot, actually. I wonder why Marvin isn't here on my case at the moment. But I guess we haven't done a very good job of marketing this particular stream, and that's fine. But anyway, it's kind of a question of priority. Do you? Who are you? 4th generation?
I talked to him every other day.
I probably have heard your name then. If you talk to Marvin every other day, then I'm talking to him like the other days. Whichever day you're not talking to him, I'm talking to him. That's awesome.
Marvin is a absolute...
Kayla, okay, I will. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out. That's not what the point was.
We'll talk to Caleb.
It's funny.
He was just here last weekend, by the way. We had Caleb and John.
Yeah, John and Caleb came over, hung out. We had burgers or whatever. What did we have?
I think we had ham.
Ham. Ham, that's what we had.
A good old spiral ham from Aldi.
Spiral ham from Aldi.
Some local beers.
Some local Bush beers.
No, Bush beers.
Anyway, some local beers.
What we're doing now.
And we hung out, we just talked and we commiserated. And, Caleb's kind of in a different place, which is like he has to make this work for his daily butter, which is a little different from us. We just this is the point here is to capture what we're doing historically, to build some buzz and to drive interest into St. Louis, which, and especially into the Cherokee Limp District, which is where we are. That's the whole point. We're not here to make money. But Caleb has to do it. He has to make it happen. And we talk to him all the time about what the pressures are like and, what he's up to and what kind of things he has to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, and the hiccups too. So when he was here, we were talking about his sewer situation. Not a generally beautiful topic to talk about, but for me, I personally am super excited when I see sewer pipe going in and electrical boxes going on, because that's the stuff that really makes it all happen. But I know in Caleb's situation, he wasn't planning on doing that. And so paying for that can be a huge dent to your budget. And so it set him back, where I know he was excited about doing his roof in the spring, the Mansard roof. And I'm sure that set him back a little bit, but it's integral to a house, just as a roof is, but the sewer has to go somewhere. So
You got some subs, 4th gen. That's nice. That's really nice. Thanks for flaunting that in front of us.
It is. It will
Really appreciate it.
So it is. It's a hard game. So
It
we've
is a hard
talked
game.
about it, and we've gone through 2 plumbers, 2 electricians,
1
now
GC.
3 carpenters,
Yeah.
2 roofers.
We need to be
So-
we need to be careful about what we say, but
Well,
it has been a rough game.
But you have to talk through the process, and you have to interview anyone who's working on your house to make sure that they share the same vision that you do have for the house. And honestly, guys, if you feel like the person who you're talking to doesn't know as much about maybe the process or how to take care of an older home,
Yeah.
then you maybe need to listen to that. And so
Right.
I know, Matt knows my tells for when I'm uncomfortable in situations, and he saw that and he tried to help. But ultimately, I feel as though you kind of have to crack a few bad eggs before you find the good one.
Yeah, you can't make an omelet without cracking some eggs, I believe is the saying.
And so we've had some fears recently on, is this a possible project? Can we make this happen? And I think that we've found some people along the way who have helped show us that yes, this can be done. Is it going to happen as soon as we want it to? No. Is our budget possibly going to go a little bit further? Yes.
Okay, we've got 9 people. All right, perfect. It's time to lay out the story, right, Nikki?
It was Caleb's birthday recently.
It was Caleb's birthday. We acknowledge that. We hung out with him like 2 nights ago. So
last week.
We made up for that. Anyway. Okay, so Volcomp House. You all care as hopefully close to as much as we do. We are completely committed to Volcomp House. We are in a place where we are trying to tread water. The reason we're doing this live right now is because we don't have content, because we can't shoot action on the house. Why? It is two things, and we have to be very careful because we have no interest in making trouble for anyone at all. But we've run into some trouble, some issues with some subs. And those of you who have done house renovations know, I'm sure, have experienced all of the things we have experienced. A misalignment with vision, a misalignment with understanding the historicity of the situation and how important it is.
Or even capacity. There's some people who really want to do the job.
They want to do it, and they just can't do it, right? So, yeah, exactly. Now, what have we done? Hello, I haven't seen you on in a while. I know, yeah.
Oh, you're there, Faith. We see you.
Faith, it's us. It's not you. It's us. We're explaining ourselves right now. Okay, so anyway, right. So we are committed. Here's what needs to happen for us to make progress. And I just need to be totally honest with our audience right now. We need to sell our historical 19, what was the number? 19.
Which one?
The Lafayette.
Lafayette, 1915.
1915, arts and crafts, flip house, basically. We really were careful with that. Thank you so much, Kevin. Man, it's awesome to see these people doing stuff. Anyway, we need to sell that. It has been a slog with the interest rates where they are. People are very cautious about the investment it takes to buy a 3-story arts and crafts villa like on Lafayette. It's a tough sell. Once that sells, we will have the cash to proceed on Volcomp. On the Volcomp side, the construction teams, I mean, we've been through a few. It's been hard to find, and this is just the facts. I mean, it's been very hard to find a sub who wants to take the time to understand why we want to save all the trim. I mean, it's hard work. Every piece of this is hard work, and we have been we've been through a lot of people to try to find somebody that shares our passion.
Mhm.
And that is not to cast any aspersions on anyone. Actually, it's just kind of the way the world is. So we found some people who have who have worked with us and who've started to tell us that this is possible.
Mhm.
Like we had like a place where we were like, can we do this? Is this even affordable? I think it's possible, and I think we can partner with some folks that can get it done. So we're gonna talk about that.
So through the old house community and through talking with people about what we have going on with our house, it's our house now.
Yeah.
And so you find a lot of people who are willing to share information. They're willing to share people that they know and who they trust. And so I think, and it all comes down to an affordability sense, but I have a strong feeling that we have found some people who not only have the passion, but they have the technical skills and they have the ability to be able to help make
Right.
the Volcomp home our
I think so. So we found some folks who, as we were walking them through, were telling us more about the house than we knew, which is a shock actually, because we don't find many people who know more about the house than we do, which was nice. So can you guys hear me? Is this turned up enough? I don't feel like, anyway, that's what happened. And hopefully we can engage those people. We're being very vague. It's not
I know,
cool. It's like
it's
people
hard.
are like, what the heck are you talking about?
I know.
Okay, so the other thing that we're doing is we've started a few companies.
So for us, I'm a real estate agent.
Yep.
Okay. Everyone knows that real estate's a little bit hard right now. And for me, I've thrown myself in a lot of these other things that Matt is going to talk about to try to help launch.
Right. So instead of whining and asking for a bunch of money, we became very focused, and we went down deep in our souls and we said, how much does this matter to us? And it matters a lot. It matters pretty much more than anything we've got going. So to fund this, to keep it going, to not just be captive to the market on a flip, we also started a few companies. So I wanted to share it with you. This isn't a sales situation. This is just more like, hey, guess what we're doing? So about Mansard Media, and you probably wonder, like, how are these people making money? Are they making money on YouTube? No, we make about $2 on YouTube
I
on a
don't
good
even
day.
know if we're making money right now.
I don't think we made any money on
To fill
YouTube.
out the paperwork.
We made enough money to maybe pay for the point of signing the paperwork. Very little money on YouTube, but the point of YouTube is we want to capture what we're doing, we want to build excitement, and we want to just share what we're doing. And I love the community. It's more about social currency than anything else. It's about meeting everybody out there that is interested in the same thing we're doing. And man, have we made some contacts. So it's been totally worth it. I don't mean to whine. I'm just saying it ain't making us any money. So we sat back and we said, how are we going to finish Volcom? It's going to take $500,000 to $1 million to finish Volcom. We've had $1 million. We've had multiple $1 million rough quotes. I'm hoping 500,000 for the big house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sharon, that's not small money.
Well, and we're in it. The cost of the house plus half of everything. We're in it probably
$250,000 by now.
Close to.
Yeah, $250,000.
Yeah.
So we're about at 250,000 in. That was to secure the house, get electric set up, get all of the
roof,
the roof done,
the electric, the plumbing, and the sewer. So now.
Yeah. And we're doing cash. We're not taking loans out on this because it's really not an investment in any way. It's purely project of building our own house that we want to live in, or refurbishing our own house we want to live in. So yeah, so when you look at that mountain and you look, okay, I'm going to take $500,000, I'm going to plug it in, maybe $1 million, and will it be worth it in the end when you put that all? Could you resell it for that? The answer is probably not. No, it's a losing proposition. It's all about the history and making sure this gem isn't lost to humanity. Honestly, that's what it's about. Fourth gem, what are you doing?
Oh, nice.
Save me
Thank
money.
you.
Hey, stuff. So stuff we're doing. Let's talk about it.
Stuff we're doing
So
to
we've
save money.
started, but first we have to, okay. So it's not just a savings question. I'm a business guy. You can't cut your way to success. I truly believe you have to grow the revenue side. So we've started 5 businesses. Let's talk about 3. Don't worry about the 5.
Okay, so the biggest one is Castle Key Technology.
Yes.
It is.
Look it up.
We have a website. It is. It's the IT side. Guess what? Matt, the former CIO, has started an IT company, and so what he and this team are focusing on is helping small to medium-sized businesses with their IT companies, and we've been able to partner with some people. So we have people in California, in Ohio, in London,
everywhere,
and here in St. Louis, who can help with any IT needs that you may have.
Yeah. So if you go to that website, you'll see what we're all about. The idea is to create revenue streams, small revenue streams that we can use to fund this house. So we've started Castle Key Tech, which is kind of cool. It's an IT company. If you know of a small to medium-sized business that needs IT services, we stand to help, and we are very good at it, actually. And we have people all over the world ready to help with that.
Or if you know anybody who is a current CIO who needs a little coaching,
yeah, let me know.
From someone who did it for 12
years.
12 years of CIO.
Anyway.
They can get personal one-on-one time with Matt.
Right. So what else have we done?
So we've got the media. We have another division called Commerce Copilot, which we are building websites for people.
Yeah.
We have 2 clients for sure that we're
Thank you,
working
Faith.
with. 3 clients now, actually. So we are building websites and platforms essentially for people to be able to run their businesses or spread a message. So we're helping someone who is spreading a message about free speech. Another one that is partnering with a large company, and they will be selling products. And then another one who watched our video and wants to help get their family member discovered.
Yeah. So that's something we're doing. Basically, think of us as anything you need to do on the web, we can do. So Commerce Copilot can build you e-commerce. We can build you a website. We can do whatever we want, whatever you need.
A learning management system, a social platform.
Customer, a contact management system, whatever you need. So we're doing a lot of that. The essential point is we've gotten creative to try to fund this. So we need to sell this flip. That'll give us the basis for what we can do to get it finished, and then we'd like to build businesses to help us finish what we started. So
yeah, and we're doing this with the team, JD and Megan. You can watch their bios on our channel as well, and so they are the key integral piece to everything that we're doing right now.
Right.
So we have I am considered the chief.
I know who you are. You're in Australia. Okay. Marvin talks about you all the time.
Oh.
4th gen. Okay, cool. I know who you are.
Houses like ours are actually kind of a dime a dozen in St. Louis, as it would happen. We are a gold mine, as we like to talk about, of architecture from many different eras, and you just have to find people who are willing to see that and pay for it to renovate it.
What questions? Do you have any questions? I know we have like 12 people watching. That's great. Good for us. any questions out there that we can answer? We're just babbling. We're just talking about what's going on in our lives.
Well, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
So, Sarah Jane, I don't know if you're watching
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, or if you'll be a viewer named, and we didn't realize how local until we stumbled upon a Facebook page.
Sure, in
And
Detroit.
for the local neighbor, she's actually a part of the Volcomp home in the most recent neighborhood association meeting. And I don't know if anyone here is as involved in their local government and or their neighborhood association, but walking into that meeting, we had 3 of the 4 kids with us. It's a Monday night at 7:00. We're dressed, ready to go. The kids are all dressed to the nines. I think they were all wearing their wedding clothes.
Yeah, they wore their wedding outfits.
And we had a presentation set up and ready to go. So
Sarah Jane, okay, one of the audience for our shows, let me just say it again. I know you said this, but I'll boil it down for you. Sarah Jane rings us up on Facebook, says, hey, can you come present to the Marine Villa Neighborhood Association, which is the neighborhood that Miami, the Volcomp house is in. We're like, heck yeah, we'll show up. What do you want us to talk about? We show up. It was the coolest thing. I honestly, as an American, I loved it. So it was a neighborhood association. These folks are at where the rubber meets the road. They're talking about, let's go pick up in this alley. Where's the crime? They were talking names and stuff like that. Like, where's the problems? And beautification too. We just got access to this fountain. So now we need to clean it up. This person's going to handle pulling weeds. Where can we get plants from and all of that? So it was wonderful to walk in and to see these people interact and make decisions to help improving their neighborhood. Now, if you understand St. Louis, you understand that St. Louis is an interesting place to live, and it's an interesting place to be because you have a whole lot of different people, but we also have, let's be honest, it's the crime. Anyone who lives in St. Louis County doesn't usually like coming into the city unless it's a ball game or it's something important, and then they quickly leave. Now, living in the city, living in where we live right now has been the most incredible experience I think I've ever had because you meet so many different people. With that, you also have to you're in a city, so you have a lot of good people and you have a lot of people who are struggling to make ends meet, and they're doing that in not necessarily the best ways. So you have crime. A lot of it.
And so it happens. But we have people in our immediate neighborhoods and in our small little pockets of communities that are actually actively working on trying to fix that and tracking it.
That was nice to see. So we even had a representative from the police department there at the neighborhood.
If your name is Jasmine, sorry.
It was great. I mean, she was like, here's where we see the hot spots. Here's the problems. I've been called out here. We had neighborhood managers. I mean, the city's involved. I'm not a big government guy, honestly, and I'm not. But I got to say, they were pretty involved. Hey, let's just talk about some of these comments we got coming in here. Faith is being super supportive. Faith, pictures. We owe you pictures. Next time, absolutely, we will have some video. I promise.
Unfortunately, there's not a ton of pictures.
There hasn't been much progress.
In the presentation that we gave to the neighborhood association, it was, here is the electrical panel, and the roof is here. So, I mean, honestly, Faith, all we have here is the backyard with gravel that we've re-leveled everything. We regraded, that's the word. Put down gravel so that way anyone who comes in through the back isn't traipsing mud in. A roof and electrical, and we did have a really exciting meeting.
A really exciting meeting with a team that said, and I kid you not, they're ready to plaster if we wanted them to, which is very exciting. So Something we struggled with. I know you guys, I don't know if anybody's watching that's been with us from the beginning, but we really struggled on what to do with the plaster because the whole place was plaster, of course, it's 1879. We ended up taking it out, and it was one of those gut-wrenching decisions that honestly I've questioned ever since we did it. I still kind of stand by it. It was a very heavy, not very flexible plaster. Things were falling down, had been wet, a lot of black mold in there. But, you know, once you tear it out, what do you do? Like, do you bring in drywall? I mean, I think our Australian friend probably has dealt with some of these things, but do you bring in drywall? Can you fit it behind the existing trim? Things like that. So we've consulted with a bunch of people. We finally got a team in that said, no, let's just plaster it again, which was like, they thought it was going to be a wash on cost. They're like, you know what? Probably cost you almost as much to plaster the place than to put drywall back up.
At least the brick,
which is fascinating to have heard that. I'm not saying that's what we'll do or that's the right answer, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. We did. I remember walking into a meeting with a lot of the previous construction crew, asking, because I started doing the like mental math on, okay, so if we tear down the exterior plaster, then we're potentially having to move the trim and we're having to move the windows and everything.
Yeah, it's untenable.
So it's a domino effect.
Plasterboard, yeah. So that must be drywall. The same thing. That's probably the same word as.
Potentially.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to fourth gen Australian.
Fourth gen.
I don't want to use his real name, so like fourth gen is probably the right word.
So we weren't sure, and we were trying to talk about ideas, and other people had said, oh, you can just fur it and then drywall, or you remove everything.
Yeah.
And then add 5 inches, which to me was not possible. I don't think that's drywall. I know it's weird words.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Okay.
And so then someone came in and said, you know what, we might as well just plaster it. We could put polymers and plaster so it doesn't crack.
We'll see. I don't know. It's just interesting. We're getting a lot of different perspectives. Okay, so let's read some of these comments here. So,
mother of pearl light switch, yeah.
Anyway, okay. I think just everybody's being pretty supportive and then chatting with each other, which is cool.
Right. So we had that awesome talk with Marine Villa. We actually spoke with people who helped to clean up the house before we owned it. And for them, I think it was just a matter of
fourth gen. Let's talk. So if you think drywall is the answer, I am down with that, man. I just feel like we're looking at a whole house. It needs to be either plastered on the outside or drywalled. If I could have some time with you, I would really love that. I've heard you're a guy I need to talk to.
Here's the issue. We live in St. Louis, where we have hot and humid summers and cold and dry winters.
Yeah, I love it.
So we have a wide swinging of
thank you. We'll talk.
of moisture. So high humidity and with the brick, it needs to breathe, as we all know. That's why you can't paint brick. You can't paint brick with a latex paint, and because it'll crumble. And so then the thought is, what do we do on the inside?
Yeah.
Do we seal it?
So the question was on the inside. So we've got a whole bunch of brick walls on the inside.
Yeah.
Do you plaster it? Do you drywall? We're gonna seal it somehow. Will it be drywall? Will it be a plaster? I'm going to talk to fourth gen. I really need to know which way to go. And we'll price maybe the deciding factor. Anyway, okay, let's put a bow on this.
No, because then the other thing in terms of affording it is that we are going to work on putting the house on the state registry.
And the federal.
And hopefully then the federal registry.
Yeah.
One, we can get grants that are going to help us afford
tax breaks too. Yeah.
Doing this house. And so we can get tax breaks for it, which is amazing. But the other reason is to further let everybody know about Henry Balcom and his contributions to local, state, national, and international history with getting beer, lager beer, Lemp, William J. Lemp beer everywhere.
Yeah.
So Matt spoke with someone on Friday, and they were very interested in wanting to do it. So we're gonna follow up tomorrow.
Yeah, plaster.
To see how to how to work on that. But we had also discussed internally, you and I, about opening up at least the first floor for house tours and also events too.
Yeah. So we'd like to make it. It's like a museum. Right. Exactly. Okay, so everybody, it looks like people are signing off. Boy, this was helpful.
Okay.
Thanks for talking. Fourth Gen, I would like to follow up with you about options. We need to talk about plaster versus drywall. Love to have some thoughts from you. We are continuing on this journey. We will have more to share. Once we can get a team in place and we can get this other house sold, we will have more cash and we can move forward. We're starting companies, things we're trying to come up with ways to pay for this. So that's the scoop. And thank you for joining us. We are privileged to have you and for having people that are even interested in what we're doing. We really appreciate it. So thank you. And we're
Please
gonna
leave comments.
Yeah, please leave.
If you have any questions,
I
we can
wanna
get
say-
back to you. We will try to do better about coming up with updates.
Thank
and
you,
things
Brian.
Like that. We may also do some extra things highlighting St. Louis, especially as a family of 6 now, of all the things that we're
Thanks,
doing.
Tim.
Today, we got to spend some time wandering the famous Forest Park.
Right.
So we'll do some time
Okay.
to do that for you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for all of you saying thank you. And cheers. Have a good evening. Cheers. Bye.